Believeland Prep podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Palmer, joined by a special guest today, fellow 2023 high school graduate, Jake Bean. It's just me today. Derek's letting me take this one solo. So, Jake, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us how your summer's been treating you so far.
Yeah, as you said, I'm Jake. I'm from Cardinal High School. I played basketball and baseball my 4 years at high school, and yeah, I mean, summer's been good. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of working out, a lot of grinding, the usual. But yeah, it's been fun.
So, I'm going to just start off with some icebreakers. Tell me your favorite band or like musician, and then your favorite song by them as well.
Um, let's see here. I'm gonna have to go with Luke Combs. Probably "What You See Is What You Get." That's what I've been listening to a lot right now.
That's that's a good option. I've had a lot of good answers on that question so far throughout some of these interviews. The next one is, what's your go-to pizza topping? Are you just a classic cheese, or do you like to mix it up?
Definitely sausage and pepperoni for sure. That's my go-to.
That's uh that's never the wrong answer either. You can always mix and match. And then,
Yeah.
what is your dream vacation? I know you travel a lot with summer ball and whatnot, but what is like one place you go on vacation that you'd want to go?
I'd have to say like out to like the Midwest, like Montana or any of those like mountainous areas out there. Like go camping out in the mountains. That'd be pretty sick.
Okay. I was gonna ask why, but now that you say that, that'd be something like I like the sunrise and whatnot would be
Yeah.
awesome to see. So, just gonna go over some of your stats from your senior season of baseball. You went 8-0 in 57 innings pitched, 0.49 ERA, 115 strikeouts, one save, and a .137 opponent batting average. Phenomenal numbers. I think a .188 allowed on base percentage. Your batting stats: 483 batting average, 587 on base percentage, 24 RBIs, 14 extra base hits, 12 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 13 stolen bases. So you really did it all for your team, contributed in every way. Obviously, I was out covering a lot of your games, so I was at the helm seeing a lot of this. Just kind of give me your like your thoughts on your senior season and how well you thought it went, and if anything, if you could change anything about it, what would that be?
Yeah, I mean, definitely going into senior year is kind of just a have fun kind of mentality for me. I mean, I knew I had a lot of guys coming to watch me this spring, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was like it's your last season, it's my last sport with Cardinal, and I mean, I just wanted to go out there and just make the best time of it as I could with all my friends, the kids I've grown up with, and I mean, at the end of the day, like, yes, I did take it serious and I was really trying to play my best. But at the end of the day, it was also like me being out there with my best friends playing a sport I love. So, I mean, it was just a lot more of a like last sport. Just excited to be out there with my friends. I mean, just have the best time I can. But yeah, I mean, too, like obviously, like there was a lot of guys in the stands watching me this spring, but I just didn't really let that get to me at all. And I mean, it was just like I said, like just having the best time I can with my friends. So
And then, obviously known for baseball, but you were also you were very good on the basketball court as well. In your career, averaged 13 and a half points per game, about 5 rebounds, about 2 assists, roughly 2 steals and a block per game in your high school career. Do you think that if baseball hadn't taken off, would you have considered going to college for basketball instead?
oh, that's a great question. I mean, honestly, like I really don't know because like obviously basketball you have to have the height. And I mean, I say I'm decently tall for my age, but I mean, who knows? I mean, if I would have maybe snuck in at like a shooting guard at some college somewhere, I don't know. But
Probably,
I mean, yeah,
maybe.
I
That
mean, I
really
definitely
depends.
loved basketball, but I mean, yeah, always growing up, baseball was always my first sport. But yeah, I mean, basketball was definitely always a close second for me. So I mean, maybe, I mean, I mean, I always played travel in AAU growing up too, up until like my middle school years. So yeah, I mean, definitely could have.
So, you touched on how you had a lot of scouts coming to see you. What was that like? You're on the mound and you look in the stands behind the catcher and you see all these guys and they're here for you. They got their radar guns and they throw notepads. I had some conversations with some of them up in the bleachers recording and whatnot. What is that like? Just what kind of pressure does that add? Knowing it's like it's any regular season game, but it means so much more simply because there's a scout there and this could be a game changing type of thing.
I mean, yeah, definitely at first, like when it first started happening, it was definitely stressful. I mean, it's something like you don't want to mess up in front of them. You want to play your best, but as the more it happened, I mean, I kind of learned to just like shut it out really. Like I got to the point where like I wouldn't even like notice that they were there. And I mean, at the end of the day, I just had to do what I did best and like not try and do too much. Just let myself like just be myself out there and not try and do more than what I was capable of. And I mean, yeah, like I said, it was definitely a scary thing at first. Like, you go out to the mound and you see scouts back there and you're like, oh God, like I gotta try and do more than what I'm capable of. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's not really what they're looking for. They're not What I learned is that the scouts weren't really necessarily looking for the outcome of the game, like if you won or if you lost. Like they were just looking at your character, how you like behaved yourself, like how you carried yourself, your attitude, all that kind of stuff. Like the non-coachable things that's really what they were looking for. If your reaction to a bad game, like if you would how you would handle bad and negative situations, that's really what they were looking for, not necessarily were you getting 15 strikeouts and winning the game. Like, yeah, I mean, that's nice too, but that's not necessarily what they were looking for when they'd come. So I just kind of learned to just be myself and do what I can do. And if something bad happens, it happens. I mean, that's baseball, I mean, that's how it goes. So, I mean, yeah, like just not letting myself get too carried away with if something starts happening that like I don't want to happen, like say I get a couple hits off of me and like they score a couple runs, like not getting too stressed out about it and just, saying, all right, well, it happened. Let's just move on from it and do what we can do. Just control the controllables.
What was the recruiting process like? Because I vaguely remember the day you committed to Kent. It was the end of our junior year.
It was like the beginning of our junior year.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
I thought it was like end of sophomore year or end of junior.
Yeah.
But I know it was like I know there's like rules, and as soon as you were able to, you did. Which probably the best decision is don't leave yourself out there and just assert yourself. And probably the best situation too. You go to any other D1 school and you might not be see playing time in that freshman season. Going to Kent, you likely will.
Yeah.
And Derek will actually probably be there. He's our Kent State reporter, so
Okay.
he'll see you around.
Yeah.
And then just talk about the recruiting process, hectic, and then just how did you work your way through it? Obviously, this being a whole different scenario than just playing high school baseball.
Yeah, I mean, the college recruiting process was definitely like something, I don't know if I'd call it stressful, but it was definitely something that like you really had like it's not like to get recruited at the college level, you have to put yourself out there. Like you can't just play like locally and just like expect guys to come see you and come find you. Like at the college level, like you have to really make sure you put yourself out there and make sure you get in front of the eyes of college coaches. Cause like, I mean, I was up like posting videos of myself on Twitter, like going to showcases, like all that kind of stuff. And eventually, like I got a couple looks like the beginning of my sophomore going into junior year summer, like the end of my sophomore year, I got a couple looks and I just really, I mean, the biggest thing too is just like I was just grinding like every single day. I mean, I was working out 6 days a week, like eating right, throwing as much as I was allowed to. And I mean, just staying consistent was the biggest thing. I mean, just like those college coaches, they want to see that you can do it all the time, not just have a good outing every once in a while. Like they want to see that consistency out of you. And I mean, yeah, like they called me, well, not me, but they called my coach the beginning of my junior year summer. So going into junior year, and I had talked to them probably like 2 or 3 times, and they had come out to watch me. I'd probably say like 4 or 5 times. I talked to the pitching coach, the assistant coach, and the head coach, all great dudes. And they came out to watch me at Hiram was the last time they came out to watch me. And then like a week after that, they had offered me. And then like I kind of decided to like kind of just like wait it out. Like, I guess I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do yet. And then about a week later, I think I had ended up taking the offer and committing. So it was a lot of fun.
At what point did you like realize that there was a future for baseball past high school, and then even the way it seems past college as well?
Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't say that I was necessarily always a standout athlete growing up when I was little. I definitely was like, I mean, I was always a good athlete, but never anything up to like the college level. And about my eighth grade, going in, or like I got done with eighth grade going into freshman year. I'd started like really working out and like learning how to lift and get stronger. And then I went down to a pitching school down in Akron, Grady's pitching school. And they had kind of taught me like how to move and how to use my body when I throw. And things really started clicking from there. And then about my sophomore year, I was talking to a lot of my coaches and they said, "Hey, Jake, like we really think you can go to the next level." And obviously at the time I had no idea it'd be a D1 school, but I definitely thought I could get to the next level about my sophomore year. And yeah, I mean, everything just ended up working out. Like I've just been very lucky that everything's been working in my favor so far. So
One thing I'd like to know is just how does the travel ball and the summer ball stuff with I don't know what teams you plan, but how does that stuff help you get in front of scouts and help you get noticed and help you get to the point of going to college?
yeah, I mean, so like every big tournament that we'd go to in the summer, and either if it was Georgia or Alabama or Texas, like if you go to these big tournaments, I mean, there is going to be hundreds of college scouts there. I mean, it's packed. It's like everywhere you go, there's every bleachers behind every field. There's about 50 radar guns sitting there watching every team that plays, 50 notepads. And I mean, like the biggest thing is like if you aren't getting yourself out there and exposing yourself to that, I mean, it's going to be hard for them to find you. I mean, yeah, you can contact them personally, but I know rules have changed in the last couple months that I think that they made the rules that you can't have any contact with a college coach until your junior year now.
Right.
So obviously it's going to be a lot harder, but yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're not like getting out there and getting to these tournaments and getting to these showcases and like just exposing yourself to them, it's going to be really hard. I mean, like I said, yeah, you can contact them and they can, I mean, they can't respond to you, but they can see that and they can get some eyes on you. But it's definitely going to be a lot harder if you're not getting to these big tournaments during the summer. So
Um, Obviously, a couple other kids in the area, Evan Shapiro and Nate Muncy from Southeast, I believe. I
so
covered
yeah, Southeast. Yeah.
I covered one of their games against Perry, and then very shortly after that, I saw your retweet that he is going to Kent State, and obviously Shapiro I covered a couple times for university. What is your relationship like with them, and how have the three of you kind of grown closer together as you guys are nearing the start of your freshman years? And how has that just helped you kind of ease into this and make this a little bit easier?
Yeah, so I've actually known Evan for probably 3 years now, 4 years before like we either of us had even committed to Kent. We had known each other from the pitching school that I go to down in Akron. And I mean, yeah, we've always been like pretty close. I mean, yeah, like we've talked, like obviously we talk more now than we ever have before. And we talk quite a bit about like obviously we had the whole draft situation a couple of days ago. We talked a lot about that. We've talked a lot about like just like the normal everyday stuff that's going to happen at Kent. Like we're just excited for like we were talking about like the dorms, the working out, the training, like the practices. We've just been like, just trying to like we've bonded a lot over Kent State for sure. And yeah, Nate Muncy is actually someone who he's a year younger than us. And so he plays on the same travel ball team I do for release. And I had known him for a couple of years, probably 2 years now. And he's always been a super, super nice dude. Like every time I've talked to him, I mean, he's just been a really nice kid. And I've actually talked to him. I've seen him at a couple of the Kent games that I've went down to this past season. And yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, really excited to have him on the staff too eventually. So, and he's a very, very hard worker. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's going to be a good addition the next years after us. So
So, aside from the athletic part of going to college, what are you planning on studying when you get down to Kent?
yeah, I'm gonna major in finance because I love like the money, the whole, trying to make as much money as possible and just really getting to like understand all that kind of stuff. Just, you know, like the insurance, the taxes, all that kind of stuff. Like I want to eventually one day, I mean, because baseball isn't forever. Like your career is not gonna be there forever for your whole life. So you need to have a good foundation and a good backup after your baseball career is over. So I eventually want to be like a business owner or something like that, and really just try and make my money come in not just from baseball, so from other sources as well.
And so, despite how how standout you were at baseball. You were also very good at basketball. You set the all-time scoring record for a career at Cardinal, along with what other records did you set? Basketball and baseball. Just kind of go over some of
So for basketball, I had the all-time scoring record, and I'm like a part of the 1,000 point scorers club and the all-time scoring record. And then for baseball, I have the record for single season ERA, which was a .49, I believe you
it.
said.
Correct.
And yeah, and then like I said, like the records, and then I was nominated for um player of the year for baseball for D3 and pitcher of the year for D3 for baseball. And then I was on like the Elite 25 team for the state. And I was for basketball, I was MVP of the CVC conference junior and senior year. Trying to think here. I got first team CVC junior and senior year. I may have gotten it for sophomore year. I don't remember, but I think I might have for sophomore year. I think I got first team. And for baseball, I got first team sophomore, junior, and senior year. I got MVP of the league junior and senior year as well for baseball. And yeah, I think that's that off the top of my head. That's I'm pretty sure.
So obviously, as freshmen, we dealt with COVID. What was it like to, be ready to start your high school career as a freshman to then, a couple weeks into the practices get shut down and then have to wait a whole year before you can even pitch again in front of fans and just in general.
Yeah, it was obviously definitely a hard time for all high school athletes and college athletes, whoever it affected at the time. I mean, it was lucky. I got lucky with my situation that obviously travel baseball did end up kicking up and starting about, I wouldn't say right away in the summer. It was close to right away in the summer, but obviously wasn't normal baseball. I mean, umpires weren't behind the dish, they were behind the pitcher. You had to clean the baseball every time you used it. Like it was just a lot of weird stuff going on. But I mean, we got through it. I mean, thankfully it's back to normal now. And I mean, yeah, it was definitely kind of sucked not having a freshman year of baseball in high school. But I mean, the way I look at it is like, I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been our senior years or
Right.
like a junior year where it's like a big recruiting year for us. Like, I mean, I'm just happy. I'm just thankful that it was obviously our freshman years instead of our junior or senior years where it could have been more because like all those juniors and seniors that got affected by it, that really killed the whole recruiting process for all of those guys in the college. I mean, even in the draft these past couple of days, you've noticed that there's a lot of more college athletes that didn't necessarily get drafted their senior year of high school because of COVID when they were seniors in high school. So they didn't get drafted because they weren't getting seen because there wasn't baseball going on. So a lot of more college athletes in the recent draft than there ever really has been in the earlier rounds too, at least. So I mean, yeah, COVID definitely affected a lot of us. But I mean, we got through it, and I mean, it's just you had to grind through it and just kind of deal with it. So
So one last thing I want to ask, what advice are you leaving behind for not only the up and coming Cardinal baseball team, but also anybody else who's going to be in your position or already is in your position, maybe with a year or two left of high school baseball? What advice are you leaving for them and then Cardinal as well?
yeah, I mean, definitely the biggest advice I can give for anyone that's going through the recruiting process for either, college or even beyond that. I mean, it's definitely like it's something that you can't let yourself get stressed out about because I've been there. I mean, it's like it can be very, very stressful and very pressuring and like just you always have to think that you have to do as best as you can 24/7. Like you have to be on the top of your game and like I get it. But the biggest thing is just to like, just relax and just be thankful that you even have the opportunity to get looked at by these college coaches because obviously there's out of however many high school athletes there are, only like the top 5% of high school athletes get to even play college sports. So that's one thing I've really just been thankful that I've even had the opportunity to be able to pursue my college career and hopefully beyond that. Like it's definitely a surreal thing and never take it for granted. I mean, like high school goes by fast. That's one thing I will say too. It does fly. I mean, and I'm sure you can attest to that as well. and never just like hope for like because I've got caught with this myself is like I'm always just so excited. Like I'm just like, all right, I just want to be at Kent already. I just want to be at Kent already. But like I've really had to just sit back and just appreciate what's been going on at the moment. Like because a lot of guys going through the recruiting process and say they have gotten a commitment and like they have gotten an offer, they kind of it can be easy to like just like not appreciate what's been going on like in front of you and just trying to hope for the days ahead. But like I said, just like make sure you are where your feet are and appreciate everything that's going on right now in your life because you never know what could happen. I mean, injuries can happen, different things can happen. So it's just like you have to appreciate what you have at the moment and right now instead of hoping for better days ahead. So
And what advice are you leaving for the upcoming Cardinal baseball team?
yeah, I mean, definitely put the work in for sure. I mean, because we go to a small school, as you know, and a lot of multi-sport athletes. But the biggest advice I could give is like if you really love one sport and like say like if you're a football player, but you also I don't know play basketball and track or something like if you really love football that much and you really want to pursue a next level in it, like then it's okay to like not play other sports. And obviously, yeah, it's hard because we're a small school and we don't have the numbers that other schools do. But if you truly do love one sport and you want to go far with it, then it's okay to, maybe get away from other sports and really focus on that one single sport because that was a thing for me my freshman year. I quit football after that and I got a lot of flack for it. I mean, obviously a lot of kids were making fun of me and making jokes at me saying how I shouldn't have quit football. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's like it's what's most important for you and like what's most important for you in your situation and what just do what's best for you. I mean, you don't have to play 5 sports at Cardinal. I mean, if you really think you can go far in one sport, then it's okay to specify in that one sport.
I want to thank you so much for joining me. Take some time out of your summer.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
obviously going to be very busy.
Yeah,
Um, Great time talking to you. Good luck to you and your all of your future endeavors. Best of luck. I know it's going to
yeah,
be good.
thank you.
Hopefully, I'll see you down the road somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys for watching the Believeland podcast. As your host, Cameron Palmer, joined by Jake Bean. This will be on all your social media platforms on YouTube. If you choose to watch the video format, it'll be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all of the above. Go check it out, retweet it, share it on your socials. Thank you guys so much for watching.